especially some of the announcements that we're about to make. And we're going to be recording things in high quality video soon in the near future. So when you log into these webinars, it's going to be perfection before you ever get there. So it's going to come across live, but yet at the same time, it's going to be pre-recorded so that we don't miss a beat. And that's going to be a very important factor on making sure that recordings come out correctly. No skips in Wi-Fi, no skips in our voices, no skips in anything. So we want you to have the most quality presentation you possibly can have. The Sustained Prosperity System is designed for one reason, and it's in the name, Sustained Prosperity. There are so many networkers that join network marketing that are either in poverty or they're in prosperity. It's just either one extreme or the other. And you see some very top leaders many times, they'll make it to the very top, make millions of dollars. And then before you know it, they're broke. And you wonder why? Why does that happen? Why do people join a network marketing company and make a lot of money in their first run? Many times it is their first run or their second run. They finally hit home runs. And then all of a sudden they can't do it again. The reason they can't is because they've done it on their own recognizance. They've done it on their own ability instead of doing it with a system. And let's face it, they are not duplicable. Now, you're going to hear that a lot through our training. It's just not duplicable to try to build it on your own ability, your own talents. And it's important to put everyone on a system because a system is duplicable. You are not duplicable. A system is. And that's the key to long-term stability and sustainable income and growth. And that's what this is all about. Most people, when they join a network marketing company, they're joining it for the products. They're joining it because of the excitement of someone on a stage or some friend of theirs convinced them to join the company. And then when they move over from being a customer mindset to a brand partner mindset, there's a transition that takes place that many people don't completely come out of. They're trying to build their business as a customer instead of building their business as a brand partner or a distributor or representative, whatever you call yourself within your prospective company. And we have people on the call from many different companies, as you might know. And we have more and more people coming on the call as we speak right now. We're going to have some major announcements here in just a moment that I'm extremely excited about. This year is something that we've been planning ahead to make a huge transition of our own with the presentation of the Sustained Prosperity System, the training, the mentoring of the internet marketing side of things. When we're doing what we're doing in regards to network marketing, MLM, multi-level marketing, direct sales, there's so many different names for it. Some people are afraid to use the word MLM or multi-level marketing. When someone asks me what I do, and I have this question asked every day when I'm traveling around and when I'm meeting people and talking to people, one of the number one courtesy questions that you ask someone is, what do you do? And I'm very quick to say, I do network marketing. You know what I mean. You get people, they get people. That's what I do. I do network marketing, multi-level marketing. In fact, I say it just like I just now told you. They said, oh, really? I said, yeah. I said, that's exactly what I do. I do very well with it. I work hard on it. And it's a wonderful feeling to be able to help others be successful, and it makes you more successful. So as we go into this training, I want you to understand that we're going to have some very special things happen over the next, not just few months, next few weeks, and it's going to last all year long. Now, I may make this announcement more than once, but I just have to let you know, we're going to have special guests from all over the industry of different companies. Doesn't matter what company they're from. These are top earners or top presenters, people who actually have been in the industry for a long time and have much to offer in information and knowledge to you. I have many relationships in the industry, and I'm very privileged to be able to reach out to these relationships. And today I reached out to some of my friends and I said, would you be a guest on our call where we train and mentor people how to be better network marketers in this profession of network marketing and direct sales. I didn't have a single no. I had a yes from every person I reached out to so far. And let me give you this. This is such a dynamic list. I won't mention all their names, but when you hear these names, you're going to just absolutely be floored. We got people like Jordan Adler. Most of these people are making well into 1 to 2 million or more a year in their profession of network marketing. And you can learn a lot from these people. Jordan Adler, Travis and Summer Flaherty, Izzy Matos, Glenn Jensen, one of the owners of a network marketing company. He's owned several in his career, and he can offer much when it comes to global expansion. Tom Chenault, actually a phenomenal guy that has so much to offer. Tony Cannoli, Orrin Woodward, Richard Brooks, Troy Dooley. I can just keep going down the list of the people who have said, absolutely, I'm excited about being part of this call. And I want you to know that these people are people that I have also been friends with and rubbed shoulders with in this industry for so long. Many of them, I've been on their calls with them and helped them as well. And we've had such great times together. Some of these people that I've been asking and calling and requesting them to be on our call, I've actually helped mentor some of these people over the years, and it's been a pleasure and an honor to see them at the very top of their business and to see them have such a great success in the network marketing industry. And that's what I want you. I want you on this call, on this webcast, to understand that throughout this year, in these first few months of this year, it's very important that we start out 2016 with a bang. We want you to win. And I know that some of you are in different types of products. You're in different types of delivery systems. You're in different types of marketing when it comes to the types of products you're with. But these lessons that you're going to partake of and you're going to be a participant of, you're going to learn how to implement a system that will help you duplicate and cause you not just to win short term, but you're going to win long term. Some of you have, and you've gained a lot of strength over the first 2 or 3 years in your company, and you wonder, why are you leveling off and why are you coming back down? And why is it so hard for you to maintain rank and to maintain your success? The reason is because, again, so many people build their business on their own ability instead of building their business on the ability of others in a duplicable system that causes everyone to win, not just people with charisma. Now, obviously, there's some of us in this industry, we can sell anything. We can take a cup and turn it into a network marketing company. That's fine. But what about the people who can't? What about the people who are the normal everyday persons that join your company and you've convinced them to buy that package? How can you turn them into a diamond in your company? How can you turn them into a high level position in your company? How can you teach them to go diamond? And in our company, we don't have a diamond, but let's say that your company, that top position is diamond. How do you turn those people into a diamond that don't have the charisma that you have? It's very easy. We have a system in place, and it teaches you how to go through those steps, the steps. And you're going to hear these 4 major segments consistently, and it's called action, traction, rank advancement, prosperous positioning. I'm going to repeat that. Action, traction, rank advancement, prosperous positioning. You're not going to get traction until you create the correct actions. Now, you may have some traction because of your own ability, but that doesn't last. If you build it according to this system, what's going to happen is the same actions that get you to that $500 a month is going to take you up to $5,000 a month. That same action that took you to $5,000 a month is going to take you on to $10 or $15 or $30 or $40 or $50,000 per month. Wouldn't that be great? Absolutely. But if you build it on your own ability, and it's only on your own ability, Everybody has a lid. Now, I don't know if anyone reads any of John Maxwell's books, but one of his chapters of his 21 Laws of Leadership was the level of the lid. People have a lid of what they're capable of accomplishing on their own. If they don't network with others, and if they don't take in the ability of others, and they don't give away that leadership so that other people can excel. If you don't turn your business into a leadership factory instead of you doing it on your own, you're going to reach that lid that you cannot exceed, and you're going to wonder, why can't I get past that? I heard that network marketing was an unlimited possibility. Just like Mario said a moment ago, I want an unlimited income potential. If you want an unlimited income potential, you have to teach your organization in such a way that you teach them until you work your way out of a job. Now, if you feel that you're so important that you feel like your job security, and this is the corporate world, this is the way the corporate world thinks. The corporate world thinks that the more people that depends on you, the more job security that you have. But in network marketing, the more people that you train to become self-sufficient and duplicable and keep it simple, and everyone following a system so that no one has to call you Superman or Superwoman, and no one really truly has to depend on you, then your income that is residual becomes sustainable and it doesn't go away. Now, that's the reality of what we're looking for. Build it once, build it big, and get paid forever. Now, when we talk about this list of income earners that I just gave you a moment ago, none of these people were even in our company that I'm with personally, but they're personal friends of mine, and none of these people that I just listed are even in the same company with each other. I want diversity in front of you of different knowledge, different impacts into the system of people who are offering their knowledge in different capacities, different areas of expertise. You see, mentoring is what it is all about. If all I did was gain the knowledge from one person in my life, I would not be able to teach what I do today. The knowledge that I have gained over the years is knowledge that I've gained from many mentors that I have submitted myself to very humbly and said, please let me learn from you. I was talking to my son just the other day, and he wants to enter into a certain profession, and he said, the one thing that I want to do is I want to find people who are better than me and some people who may not even be as good as me in what I do. And I want to learn what they know, because even if they don't know as much as I do, maybe they know things that I don't know. I want to absorb from them. I want to gain knowledge from them, because why? I want to be my best. That's what he said. It pleased me to hear my son say that, to say, I want to learn from others and what they know. Most people have such an ego once they have reached a certain level. And it's funny, I see this in network marketing. You'll find people that's never gained a check in their life until they finally reach their first check of $5,000 or $10,000 a month, maybe $15,000 a month, and they think they know everything. Well, that's just simply not true. And they let their ego get in the way. And when egos get in the way, we have what we call calamity. And calamity doesn't create friendships. Calamity doesn't create anything but chaos. If you have an ego, I want you to check your ego at the button of your computer. Like some people, I would tell them to check your ego at the door. Don't bring egos into our training system. It's not going to work here. You're going to hear things that's going to cause you to shiver, because we're going to teach you things that is going to rub your fur the wrong direction. You're not going to like some of the things that we're going to talk about this year. It's going to absolutely cause you to question some of the things that you have been doing, because some of you have been doing things on your own ability instead of doing it with a system. The way that I've been able to build not just thousands, but tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people in an organization is simply one way. And let me tell you how. When you have millions of people in your organization, you cannot manage millions of people in your work. You can't even manage tens of thousands of people in your organization on your own. You must do it with a system, a well planned out system. Now tonight, I'm going to be going over some things that are very dear to me. very dear to me, because I feel like this is some of the areas that are crippling to the network marketing arena. So we just revised what we call the winning approach. We're going to be talking about approaching. We're not going to finish this tonight. We're going to go through some of it tonight. And over the next few weeks with our guests, as they add their knowledge and their wisdom and the years of experience to what we're talking about, you're going to hear a confirmation and an affirmation of everything that we're saying. These are not people who are novices that have just started yesterday. These are people who have made millions of dollars in network marketing that we have as our special guest on a weekly call. This is weekly, every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 8 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Central Time. Every Thursday night, this webcast is going to take place. As Mario said, next Thursday, we're going to be a little ahead of you on a time zone. We're going to be in Seoul, Korea. We're going to be doing this webcast from Seoul, Korea. It's going to be exciting. As we present these topics, you're going to hear professionals in the industry that have been responsible for not just millions, but billions of dollars in volume underneath them in their respective companies. One gentleman alone that we're going to have as a special guest has had over $4 billion in his organization per year. And you can imagine what his income has been over the years. This is our gift to you, as this network marketing industry is so important. Our profession is important, and we need to understand how to make it the best possible. The winning approach. The objective of a winning approach is to set up an appointment. If you're setting up an appointment, you're creating a step. It's not you, it's an HSD, it's a higher source dynamic, it's something other than yourself. Now there's a caution. If you tell people anything at all about the opportunity, you'll have to tell them everything. So be careful not to go too far with your first step. I want you to make it an introduction. I want you to keep it soft. You're trying to build trust. You're not trying to make it a sell. So be careful. If you tell them anything at all, you're going to have to tell them all of it. So be careful to make sure that your tools are doing the talking, and the three-way calls and bringing in other people are doing the talking and not yourself. Bring them to webcasts. Bring them to conference calls. Bring them to meetings. Give them a video. Send them an email with some type of a link so they can read information or listen to a video online. But make sure it's not you, because as soon as you start talking, you have validated the fact that you can tell them everything. And new people, when they come into a company, it takes a long time for someone to actually become good at telling everything. So we don't want to teach anyone to tell everything. We want to teach you to use the tools. Every company should have massive amounts of tools. I know our company, one of the things that we loved about it was it had plenty of tools, and we could implement the system so that everyone could be directed to the tools, and it could be a duplicable fashion of following the actions. Actions is the way to get there. It's nothing else but actions. Actions create traction. Traction creates rank advancement, and rank advancement will create your prosperity or your prosperous positioning. Now, the objective must be to get their commitment to each step. That's what your focus should be. It should not be a focus on trying to close the deal. That causes you to be a salesperson mentality, and you're not duplicable if you're a salesperson mentality. In fact, most people want to run from people who are salespeople. They don't want you around them if you're going to push them into that. So we're teaching that the first 4 steps, and we're reiterating some of this from our past webcasts so we can move forward, as this is our kickoff webcast for the year. The first 4 steps of follow-up should be built around trust. The second 4 steps should be built around commitment. And all the steps from 9 and above should be all about confirmation of the commitment. So let's stay with that. Don't push people into a sell. Build that relationship, build the trust, and the commitment will take place if the actions are correct. And hopefully your company has these actions defined if they do not have these actions defined, hopefully you're working on this as a top leader, or you're working with your top leaders to help define those actions. When you define those actions, you're going to be able to implement them synergistically throughout your organization so that everyone is doing the exact same thing. Your talent is not duplicable. The actions are. An appointment or an HSD is a presentation. It's an invitation to a presentation, and it's a presentation. You'll see the abbreviation HSD in our workbooks, and also any of our manuals that we're going to be sending to you, those of you who are on our email list, and hopefully you have logged into our email database and you're receiving emails from us. And if you are, you're lucky enough that you're going to be receiving consistently ebooks that's going to help you become better at this system. The definition of HSD is higher source dynamics. And in higher source dynamics, it's going to determine the size and stability of your team if you use these. You cannot reach a lid if you're using higher source dynamics. You will reach a lid if you're using your own ability and talent. Now, providing information about your product or business opportunity, which does not include your personal presentation, knowledge, and detailed expertise, with the expectation of your personal testimony, exception of your personal testimony. Now, your personal testimony is a tool. That's the only thing that should be coming out of your mouth is your personal testimony. Let's talk about the personal testimony for just a moment. Just a moment. We've always said that network marketers are professional storytellers. Now, to a certain extent, I agree. To a certain extent, I don't agree. Why don't I agree? A professional storyteller, to me, it sounds like you're telling a story that's not true. I want you to become a professional truth teller, a professional personal testimony teller. I want you to be someone who tells your story. What is your story? Where are you at right now at this moment? I can remember, I recall this lady, we were having these home parties in this particular company we were in. And she was ashamed to have her personal home party in her own place. She was living in a trailer park. It wasn't even a nice trailer. It wasn't even a nice trailer park. It wasn't a good area in her mind, in her opinion. She said, "What do I do?" And I said, "I believe that you should have that meeting in your trailer. And I want to come to your trailer and have that meeting with you and help you with your friends." She said, "But I'm embarrassed." I said, "Don't be embarrassed. You're creating your story. And your story is going to follow you all the way through your career. This is your story. And while you're sitting there, I want you to explain people because your story right now is to sit down in your trailer park with your friends and explain to them what your story is right now." And she said, "What's my story?" "Your story is, it's your why." She said, "What do you mean it's my why?" I said, "Why do you want to make money? Why do you want to become someone who gains an income in network marketing? What's your prerogative? What are you looking for? If you were to make $2,000 or $4,000 or $10,000 a month, what would you do with that?" She said, "Well, first thing I would do is I would want to move out of this trailer park." I said, "Okay, then that's part of your why. Sit down in your living room of that trailer. Tell everyone in that room, say, look around you. I want you to know that I am bound to work hard and to put everything I've got into my business, and I'm here to help you. And if you'll join me, I want you to know that I have initiative, I have motivation, because I want to do everything I possibly can to move up and to move out. I want to get to a different place. I want a new home. I want a better location. I want a better environment. I want maybe kitchen countertops with granite instead of what I have now. I want something better. I want that to be part of your story so that the people that are sitting there can relate to you, because there's someone else in that room that's probably saying, I wish I had a better home. I wish I had a better environment. I wish I had something that's better than what I have now. And you're going to personally, empathetically relate to their needs at that moment. So you're creating your story. And she started her business out in her single wide trailer in the trailer park. And it wasn't long that she moved out and she moved into a nicer apartment. And from there, she went into a nice home. And she's still in network marketing today. And she still tells the story that she started at the beginning. How that I started network marketing. I used to live in a single wide trailer. And Jef Welch told me to have that meeting there and to tell everyone what my why was. And I started moving it up from there. And there's another lady. I could tell you about another lady. It's another story. She didn't even have a trailer. She was living with other people because she was down on her luck. Very desperate. It was a situation she was having such a hard time with, having to stay with others. I never will forget having this conversation with her. And she started having meetings in the home of the people that she was staying with and signed them up in her business and kept moving up from there. It's so impressive when people finally get over the obstacles of emotion. Now, had a lady that was reaching out to me just this week as I was announcing some of the webcasts and some of the training, said she'd been in Avon for, I think, 28 years in Avon. Avon is one of the top 2 companies in the entire industry. It's a huge, giant company. And their business model is much different than some of the others, but it's been in the industry of network marketing for many years. And I can remember my mother being an Avon distributor when I was just a small child. When I was only 8 years old, I was helping her stuff these white paper sacks and helping her staple the bill that she had handwritten on the side of these white paper sacks so she could deliver these products to people and to build her Avon business. So when did I start network marketing? Maybe I started when I was 8 years old, helping my mother stuff white paper sacks. Maybe that becomes part of my story. Because when I get up, it doesn't, and I still use the same story over and over. I grew up on a chicken farm in North Georgia. We had 100,000 chickens that we put on everyone's table every 8 to 10, 12 weeks. A large chicken farm. We had cattle, we had hogs, and we grew up as farmers. Recently, when we opened up Korea with our company, I stood up in front of the entire audience and I told them my story. I grew up on a chicken farm. It's part of my story. What's your story? Because that is your number one personal HSD, higher source dynamic tool that is something other than yourself. And you should use it. You should not get out there and tell something that is not true. You should not get out there and tell a story that is not what is accurate. You should have your own particular story that you share with people. That's your life. I'm not talking about products. I'm not talking about a company. I'm talking about the tool of your personal testimonial, which is very powerful because this is what happens. Psychologically, it causes everyone that listens to your personal story to start thinking about their own personal story. And once you share your personal story, it gives you the opportunity to ask them about their life and to be quiet and listen and respond only to what they're talking about in regards to them. One of the first steps in our steps of building trust, the first 4 steps, should be your personal testimony. And it should be asking them about their life, building that relationship, working through that step of actually creating a sincere trust between you and the person that you're speaking with. Now, if you want to build trust, be transparent. Be the leader that you should be. Let them know who you truly are. Let them know if you're truly a person, and hopefully you are, that they would want to do business with and sign on a dotted line eventually saying that they want to go in business and they want you as their mentor, they want you as their coach, they want you as their partner, they want you there for that three-way call, they want you there when they need someone to talk to their friends, they want you there when they feel like giving up. They want you there to know their why so that you can remind them of their why when they feel like giving up. Listen, this is a business. It's not a hobby. You should treat it like a business and you will go far and you'll get paid like it's a business. If you treat it like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby. Now, as I'm going through this, I'm just going to breeze through this because we're going to be going through this in detail with a workbook, so you'll have notes to be able to take over these next few weeks. It's going to be very comprehensive. We just released 19 more pages to the system today. 19 more pages. And this is being proofed so that we make sure we don't have any grammatical errors so we can send this out to you. We've been talking about recognizing your obstacles. The two main obstacles that we need to recognize first and foremost in any person that you're bringing into your team is you need to cancel out all the mental delays of procrastination and also rejection, which is an emotional delay. Mental delays and emotional delays. The procrastination, I posted just recently on social media. Procrastination, if you have 100 people that procrastinate 4 weeks, you've procrastinated for 400 weeks, which is approximately 8 years. You cannot afford 8 years of procrastination in your business. If you have that much delay of people, 4 weeks average with each individual you bring into your team, and you have just a small team of 100 people, you have lost 8 years of income potential. That's not good. You can't afford that. If you cancel out the procrastination, and we're teaching you how to do this through this system over these next few weeks of how to cancel out the procrastination. Your organization will do much better if you fine-tune the mental delays and the emotional delays, which is the rejection. And we're canceling out the rejection because we're teaching you not to sell, not to be pushy, but also to go in and build that relationship which cancels out the rejection. You're not trying to get that yes. You're not trying to get them to be as excited as you are just because you're excited so much about your product. I'm humored by so many people that want me to buy their products right there. I mean, immediately. It reminds me of some people in a grocery store line. I was in a grocery store line. And I learned many years ago that peppermint oil, you know, that some people sell essential oils. And peppermint oil, if you put it on your temples, it'll get rid of headaches, and there's so many different things that essential oils will do. And someone years ago taught me this. It was probably one of the greatest things that ever came to me, was because I had so many headaches for many years, and that absolutely made a difference for me. Now, I don't sell essential oils and I don't sell peppermint oil, so I'm not trying to promote anything, but I'm giving you an example now. I remember being in a grocery store line, and it was funny. I knew what this would do. I didn't say anything, but this lady was buying some headache pills in the grocery store line, and she had a headache and she needed to check out, and she was hurting so bad, and she was trying to check out with her Excedrin or Tylenol or Advil or whatever she was buying. And the lady behind her pulls out a bottle of peppermint oil, and I was behind that lady. And this lady said, "Oh, don't buy that. You need to use this, and this is what you do, and this is what you do." This is your typical network marketer. Now, that's fine. I'm glad you're excited about your products. That lady, though, she looked at this other lady and she thought, "You're crazy. I'm just trying to pay my bill. I have a headache. I want to buy my Excedrin or my Tylenol or my Advil." I know some of you on this caller thinking, well, I hope that they didn't use the Advil or the Tylenol or whatever, because maybe you're into your Citralos. I'm not sure. I'm not trying to be negative. But if you are an attacking salesperson in your organization, you most likely have a very small organization, and you have always wondered, as dedicated as you are about your product, why can't you get it off the ground? And it's because you're not trying to duplicate the business. You're trying to be a doctor or a nurse. Remember, there was a football game in Utah where Mario's at. And it was humorous. Again, humorous. There was this lady came running out of the stands because in the football game, this guy got hit hard and he was laying out there on the field and he was spread eagle, and all the coaches and the referees and then the paramedics came out and some of the other people were standing around. This lady comes out of the stand, and some of you have been in some companies that have juices, right? You've had different bottles of juice. This lady comes running out of the stand with this bottle of juice. I won't tell you what the brand was, but let me just say this. She came out of the stands with the juice, and she said, "Here, let's put some of this in his mouth, and he'll be okay." Network marketing has generated a lot of people who are absolutely sold on their products. Thank you for being sold on your products. But if I could take a person that's sold on the products, that attaches themselves to it that way, and handles the presentation of their products that way, but then I take someone else over here and train them in a system that works. These people who are so sold on their product, by the end of the first year, are going to have maybe 50 people in their team, maybe more. But the people who are on the system that's duplicable are going to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds more than that person. And they're going to have a lot more people giving testimonials about how the product works more than the person who is the doctor or nurse mentality. By the way, the doctor or nurse mentality is the one who studies every ingredient. They study every different way that anything works, or every different way that anything is made. And they're spending so much time on that they have no time to teach and train a system that duplicates. And while everyone else is duplicating and creating hundreds times more people in their organization and creating more testimonials to come back about the products because more people are using the products, then the people who are the doctors and nurses eventually say, well, I'm just going to be a user. I can't get my business to work. So we're going to go through this system very efficiently with you, how to be a professional network marketer, how to get the results, and how to turn your business around to make it one of the strongest organizations you could ever imagine. Now, one of the things that we're going to attach ourselves to over the next few weeks is how to use different tools. We talked about our personal testimony tonight. I don't believe there should be a single meeting, a single time when people are actually introduced. If you're doing a three-way call, if you're doing a home meeting, if you're doing a hotel meeting, if you're doing a conference, there should never be a meeting or a step without someone somewhere. If it's something verbal, it should be somewhere there is a personal testimony, not just about product, but about their why. When you first, and I want to challenge everyone to do this, and if you don't do this, I want to challenge you to do this. Everyone that you bring into your organization, one of the first questions that you ask, unequivocally, should be to ask them, why do you want this? What's your reason for joining the business? If they can't understand your question, ask them a few other questions behind it. Okay, let me reiterate. This is what you should tell them. If you want to be a customer and you just want to use the product, be a customer. But if you want to do the business, I want you to be successful at the business. And to be successful at the business, it's not just making more customers, it's actually becoming successful in the business. And to be successful means that you're making money. So now you don't need to feel guilty about making money just because it's a product that helps people. Get over that. Some people feel guilty. If you do, give your money to your church. If you don't, give money to the church, plus buy you a nice car, buy you a nicer home. But figure out what your why is. If you had an extra $4,000 a month, this is what I would ask them. If you had an extra $4,000 per month, what would that do to change your life? I don't ask them what they're going to spend it on. I ask them, what will it do to change your life? So if you had an extra $4,000, I start with $500, not even $4,000. Because $500 extra per month is $6,000 per year. So I ask you, if you were my new recruit, if you were my new person that I just sponsored, I ask you, if I could hand you a check for $6,000 right now, would that change your life? You see, that starts relating to that person. There's very few people that $6,000 would have absolutely changed their life. Did you know that during the recent recession in 2008, 2009, that 92 point something percent of the people in the United States that lost their homes during the recession for foreclosures, over 92% of the foreclosures in the United States, if they'd have had an extra $500 per month, they would not have lost their homes. An extra $500 per month, $6,000 per year, will literally change people's lives. So start out there with that question. When you're talking to that new person, as they're making that decision and you're developing their why, what would an extra $500 a month do to change your life? If you had an extra $6,000 per year right now, what would it do? And they're going to give you that answer. It may be a better vacation that they haven't had in a while. It may be to help pay off their bills. It may be to pay their car payment. It may be to subsidize other things. It may be something very selfish and just extra shopping money. But it's going to do something to trigger an emotion to help them understand their why. Then once they've established that answer, bring it up higher. Okay, so let's say you've met $500 per month income. What if you get up to the point where you're making $4,000 per month? That's substantially more. That's $48,000 a year. If you had an extra $48,000 check handed to you right now per year, what would it do to change your life? Cause them to think. Help them to develop their why of what they could accomplish with the income that they're about to receive by the work that they're going to put into their business. Because if they don't understand their why, they're going to manage their business like a hobby, and they're not going to get to the place where they're making money like it's a business. It has to have a why. Take it on up. What would you do if you had an extra $10,000 per month, $120,000 a year? Listen to this statistic. If I were to ask you what percentage of the women in America that made over $100,000 per year, if I were to ask you what the percentage of those women are that make over $100,000 per year are in direct sales, network marketing, multi-level marketing, our profession, you would be astounded if you heard percentages like 15%, 18%, 20%, wouldn't you? Did you know that 82% of the women in America that make over $100,000 per year make their income of that level in network marketing? Our profession is responsible for the majority, not just the majority, but a major majority of the women in America making over 100 grand per year. So if I were to ask you, if I were to hand you a check for over $100,000 per year, what would you do? What would be your motivation? What would you use that money for? So build their why, because I'll tell you what's going to happen. And this is going to be a very important factor as you're building your organization, because about 6 months, maybe even 90 days, maybe before 6 months, as your team is growing, you're going to have individuals in your organization that did not get off to a great start. They procrastinated. Or maybe you procrastinated on getting them on a solid system so that they would be able to move forward correctly. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you didn't understand. And they reached that milestone where they were not being as excited as they were. This is the perfect opportunity for you to sit down with them, or you to call them up and remind them of their why. If you don't know the why of each individual in your organization that you're working with, you're missing out on something extremely psychologically important in building your business. Now, I'm not going to keep you at extreme times. This was a very exciting time tonight, and I can tell you that I believe that information I just gave you is going to be a bullet that I don't need to contaminate with other points tonight. I don't want you to forget this point. I want you to understand the information that I gave you tonight. I was going to go tonight into the power of the three-way call, but I want to handle that on a different day. I want you to invite your friends to these calls. I want us to have more and more people attending these webcasts, because I can tell you the lineup of people that we're going to have as special guests on the Sustained Prosperity webinar weekly. Every Thursday night, different people are going to be coming on board as our special guests, sharing with you their knowledge. I'm talking about just today, some of the names that agreed to come on to our webinar is absolutely the rock stars of our industry. These are people that have hundreds of thousands and some millions of people in their organization. They're going to share with you, along with me and Mario, how to build your business without experimenting on your organization. These are true, proven methods that work. Each week, we're going to give you a bullet point of information that's going to help carry you to the top. Let's do 2016, better than we have ever done any year before now. Let's take this business called network marketing and direct sales to the top. Whatever company you're with, we want you to win, and we want you to be the greatest professional possible. Thank you, Mario, for being our moderator tonight. I'm going to turn it over to you. I look forward to having these rock stars like Troy Dooley and Jordan Adler and Travis and Summer Flaherty and Izzy Matos and Orrin Woodward and Glenn Jensen and Tom Chenault, and Tony Canoli and Richard Brooks and some of these others that are just lining up. It's amazing. Can you imagine the people that are going to be coming on board with our call? It's going to be like walking into some of these major conferences. These are the people who stand on the stage of these major conferences that you pay very well for and fly to hear. And we're going to have them right here on the Sustained Prosperity System webinar every week. God bless you. I'm going to give this over to Mario. And Mario, the next time I see you face to face is going to be at the Seattle airport as we get on board the jet and head on over to Seoul, Korea, and have a blast. So yeah. It's always a pleasure. And thank you, Mario, for being a great partner.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for tonight, for sharing all the valuable information with us. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. I know there's several people that called in as groups, and we appreciate you being with us. As a reminder, we are going to be with you every Thursday. So our next call will be on January 21st, same time, same link. Jef made a special announcement tonight, and he mentioned several superstars that will be joining us, and that's just the beginning. Those are just people that he talked to and reached out to today, and that list is going to be growing and growing. So we want to remind you that this call and this training is for everyone. Doesn't matter what company you're with. It's a system to help you duplicate your business, and it's training for everyone. So make sure you invite everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you, Jef. Have a good evening, everyone. Good night.